Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to do an unboxing. Now this isn't a true unboxing. I've already actually opened this game and was able to play it a few times, and so I already have some of the dice sorted and stuff, but I just want to show you what comes in this big heavy box called Too Many Bones. So alright, let's open it up and see what's inside. Alright, so here's Too Many Bones, a dice builder RPG. And so I actually had this signed by one of the game designers. This is Josh Carlson that signed this. Adam wasn't in the booth at Gen Con this year when I was there, and so I may just take the cover with me to have it signed because I don't want to take the whole thing again. And let's flip this over. See the back of it here. I'll zoom in a little bit. And it shows you the different characters here, shows you some of the reference sheets, treasure cards, and your dice pool here, and then here's the battlefield, and I'll show you how that works kind of today. And it shows you like encounter card, some really nice artwork here, gives you a nice little welcome here, it tells you box content here. So let's open this bad boy up. It's got the seal of excellence from the Dice Tower, which I know that Tom Vassell liked this, but he had some things he disliked about it. So the seal of excellence, I'm not sure like what that kind of qualifies for, because if there's some things that they don't like and there's things they do like, whatever. So here is the rule book here. It's got patches around the front, and I like this rule book. It shows you everything that comes with it, right? And it's beautiful laid out here, really good material, and it kind of walks you through everything, building your character, explaining everything, how the gearlock mat works, talks about the reference sheets, and talks about enemies. And so like when we play, we're constantly going back and forth through the rule book just to make sure we got everything down, especially when we're playing, because we want to make sure that, you know, we're knowing what exactly all the things mean on the villain or the enemy's chips. And so let's open this up real quick. So these are your basic dice here. You got your attack dice and you got your defense dice here. And obviously if you see, there's bones on some of these, which then obviously the game is called Too Many Bones. So when you have too many bones, something happens. So every time you get a bone, it goes in your backup plan, which I'll show you here in a second. You have your day counter chip, because everything works on the days. You have so many days to complete your objective. So it's double-sided. I think this is 1 through 15. The other one's 16 through 30. And you have your special encounters. And then I have solo encounters here. So I'm going to try to play this solo. I've been playing it with my brother and my cousin. And here's your treasure. So you have trove loot, which you have to unlock. And you have your regular loot. So it's kind of nice that they give you these little deck holders. This one has the other encounters. And this is what goes over your encounter deck. So you can see this nice little land here. This is where you're traveling and stuff from. And these different encounters. And then there's villain encounters and stuff too that go with the encounters. But then here's, like, I already have all the dice sorted out. So here's all the dice that should come with patches. And there's patches chip. And I like the way they have this set up, because you can just pull this out. And you should be able to pull all 4 of these out, but sometimes they fall out. So then here's Tantrum. Tantrum's dice. This is Boomer. Boomer makes bombs. She's ranged. And then I can't remember this guy's name yet. Alright, then we can take this out. And then there's a nice little cover here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Chip Theory Games here. This is kind of always on top, but I like to actually just take it and slide it underneath. That way it's just out of the way, I don't have to worry about it anymore. So here's the reference sheets here. So there's Tantrum. I'll put that down here. There's Patches. And Boomer. The other guy's name, Pickett. Pickett's the other guy's name. Okay. And it shows you what their dice does, the signs, the symbols on each die. It says what the symbols do. On the back, it tells you how to play your character. So, there's a lot going on in this game. That's why when you pick a character, it's always best that you stay with that character every time you play. Or you just, you know, before you really get in depth of the game, you find what character you like the most and works for you the most. Because they're so unique. It's like Tantrum's a berserker, Boomer's a bomb maker, ranged, Patches is a healer, and also he's melee, and then Pickett is melee. He's like a soldier, kind of like a tank. And they come with these little dice mats here, so you put your dice here. So this area here, which I'm not going to go too much in depth, but this area here is like your stats. And so you can actually upgrade these stats. That's why it says plus, and you add dice here to up the number of the stat. And then your specialty dice will all go here. The ones with the stars are where the dice start. There's Tantrum. And these are lovely. These are awesomely done. And there's the battle mat. You have your initiative meter here. And so every villain, so I'll show you here, will have an initiative number, which is this number here, this green one. And so that's where they would go on the initiative meter. And so as you are playing the gear locks, that's what these things are called, these little creatures here that you're playing as are gear locks, you would actually roll for your initiative and place your die in order. There would be a die that goes on top, which is this die right here for the round. That one will go on top of this initiative meter, then all the other dice will fall down. And so the way we do this is we put all the characters down here, and as they take their turn, we slide them up to let everyone know that they've taken their turn. So I'll actually take these out, put these back. And then here's a reference sheet. You're going to need this. It's going to tell you the battle sequence, some of the keywords. It talks about like how the programming of the day works. Just some other information here. It's very handy. Okay. And then I like these chips here. They're really nice quality. I mean, they're just plastic. They're not very heavy, but they're nice. The sticker on them are beautiful, as you can see. And there's different kinds of monsters based on the type of journey or encounter you're doing, or mission, should I say mission you're doing. Then you have these really cheap plastic red ones, which you could probably, if you have a poker set, you could probably replace them with the ones from a poker set, because they're going to be nicer, heavier. These are actually feel heavier than these red ones. And then these will actually go on here somewhere. They're actually numbered, so one will go on 1, 2 go on 2, 4, and 3. And what that's for is you'll set your monster on that tile, so that way you always know where it started. And depending if the monster is melee or ranged, so then, for instance, this one is ranged here, as you can see. I'll zoom in closer on it. I would set this one, if this is the first one, I'd set this on top of the blue, and I'd move it back one, so that shows that it starts in the ranged position. It can attack anywhere. And then you continue filling up the board as such. And you have some 20-point monsters. You have 1s, 5s, and 20s. I'm not going to go through all the chips, all these villains and stuff, because that's just a lot. But I'm going to show you these bosses here. So you have Duster, which is a gear lock. You have the Goblin King. Let me zoom in on these. Duster You have the Goblin King. You have Mulmish, which is kind of like a werewolf dog. And you have Deb, which is kind of like an ogre. You have this Gendrix, which is kind of like a lizard creature. You have the Morrow, which is the orc warlord. And then you have Drellin, who kind of reminds me of Abraham Lincoln for some weird reason. But those are the villains. And so you're going to set these, when you play that specific encounter that has that villain, you're going to set that villain card, the chip, and everything related to that villain aside, and you're going to go ahead and make your deck. Which, when I do a playthrough, I'll show you setup and everything. Well, I guess I can show you some of these ones. So I showed you some of the ones. I want to show you some of the fives. So there's a 5. I think there was a 1 here. Yep, that's a 1. So 1, 5, and a 20. So you have your health, the initiative, how many dice they roll, This one doesn't actually do any specific damage, but it has poison too, so it's going to continuously give everyone poison. Attacks, it's ranged. Let's see if I can find a melee. No. There we go. And we have a melee here. And this symbol here means that it's going to attack the weakest character. It's going to attack the closest character first, then if it's a tie, it's going to go for the weakest. This one means it's going to attack multiple people. And then you have the encounter types here, I guess that's what you call them. This one has a defense of 2. So that's what some of the symbols mean. And then you have your keywords here, which you can look up on that reference sheet. But that's too many bones. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.